Good evening and welcome to Anime-Zing Radio here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. I'm your host, Doug Engler. Joining me in the co-host seat, as always, is our good friend, Mr. Darren Stroud.
Who's that?
Somebody. Angela may or may not be joining us. She was at ReaderCon today. When I mentioned about doing the show, she said they had to finish tearing everything down, dinner, and then she said she's going to try to jump on when she gets home. But anybody who has gone to a convention knows that it's very tiring, especially when you work them. And so if she makes it, fantastic. If she can't, no worries on that front. But we're excited. And good evening, Ross and John. I know that originally we said there wasn't going to be a show tonight. My work schedule changed this week thanks to me having to do qualifications, qualification testing and physical stuff for work, and me switching a different train, which led me to having today and tomorrow off, which, yay! But we are excited to be here and have some fun. And I think I need to invest in a second green screen. I don't think this one's wide enough. But tonight, I figured we would talk about some of the summer animes that are out there, what we've been watching or been able to watch. I know for Darren, it's tough this time of year to catch up on stuff due to his work schedule gets crazy. And I've been slacking a little bit on anime because, and I'm going to put all the blame on Kaya Tianu, my friend Rob. I've been playing a lot of Uma Musume. I'm not going to lie.
You've been too busy racing.
I have been at the hotels instead of sitting there and binging anime like I usually do. I've been racing horse girls.
Yep, my friends. Well, I say friend. My employees are much more or less the same, but also my friends all over the country and the world are doing the exact same thing. Every time I turn around, there's a couple of them posting, "Oh, they're oh, I like how Gold Ship's always trolling me." One of them posted that they were working on Rudolph, Symboli Rudolph. Another one was posted that they were working on Urara, and I'm just like, dang.
Yeah, I've bounced all over with the stuff. Like I haven't sat there and tried to focus on just one of the horse girls to raise him up to be a good parent horse for another girl. Which, if you're unfamiliar with the game setup, you can do a career mode, and when you select the character you want to use, they get two what they call parent characters, and your character gains stats based off of the top stats of those two parent characters. So your character kind of inherits from them. They inherit from two other, like two sets of grandparents, and that's how they basically run the game. And then you have to go and try to win all your win matchups, do stuff like that. And obviously, when you're starting off, you don't have any good really parent horses to use. You just use the best of what you got, and you have to build everything up. And I was watching a VTuber last night who was on his 96th run with this one character. I think it was Ogre Cap. He was on his 96th run with her alone, not in total. I've done 27 total careers. He was on 96 with just this one character. I'm like, good Lord, I don't have that much time invested in it.
Well, don't forget, VTubers are a whole different breed.
True. And when I say 27, I just mean on the account I have on my computer. I don't count what's on my phone because I have two separate accounts. The one on the phone I had started long before I realized you could get on the computer. And when I started one on the computer, I started learning, oh, you should be focusing on the support cards more than getting the horse girls. And so I changed stuff around on that one. John Knight, the chat, says he just finished Deathmatch to the Parallel World Rhapsody dub in a day. Was a good isekai anime. The characters were really fun. Music was very good. And the animation was clean. I'm glad you enjoyed that one. I think I watched that one. I just don't remember a whole lot about it because I've watched too much anime.
Yep. Death March was one of the ones my friend said it was one of his favorite isekais, and I'm fairly certain we're getting a second season on that. I don't remember. But it was one of those isekai light novels that they said was really, really good.
And Roth is already derailing the show. In true Ross fashion, he's going to food. You ready for this one, Darren?
No.
He says, just changing subject. Today is National Ice Cream Day. What, in your opinion, is the best flavor for him? Mint chocolate chip, strawberry, cherry, and cotton candy.
Cookie dough.
I like Reese's, Twix, and the mint chocolate chip cookie dough. When you can find it. You can't always find the mint chocolate chip cookie dough. I also am a big fiend for chocolate, coffee, and black raspberry.
Well, do you want to know one that's good that is dang near impossible to find? It is my mom's favorite.
Which one's that?
Black walnut.
I am not a nut person per se. The only thing I found that I enjoy that I'll eat that has nuts in it is typically a Snickers bar.
She Baskin Robbins carried it for years, and then it just got to where they didn't carry it anymore. And as you know, down here we don't have just Dunkin'. We have Dunkin' slash Baskin Robbins.
Yep. Jumping back on the anime side of things, have you seen or been able to watch any of season 2 of My Dress Up Darling?
Nope, I haven't been able to watch anything of anything. The only sequel I've seen is the first episode of Shield Hero, and like I said, I finished Boy Girl Friendship, and I need to finish Takamine. But I've been seeing the spoilers, and basically, the bottom line is Marin has been unhinged this season.
Yeah. We just watched the latest episode today of that one, Call of the Night, and Vending Machine. We've caught up on those 3.
Speaking of which, I've heard the girls from Call of the Night have been on the attack also.
It's gotten crazy. Call of the Night has definitely gotten crazy. That show, off of the first 2-3 episodes of season 2, I want to say season 2 has gotten better than season 1.
Very nice.
It has not disappointed yet. The energy has gotten more intense. Fit has hit the shan, and yeah, it's been absolutely crazy, and I've been enjoying every second of it. I feel like season 2, if season 1 had started off like season 2 has started off, I think Angela would have enjoyed the show. How true that is, I don't know. But just from what I have seen, and I feel like she would enjoy the show because it's got such better storytelling starting out season 2. But I feel like that's because season 1 basically introduced you to everybody. So it's kind of a slow burn to start.
Mm-hmm.
But season 1 was still really good, in my opinion. I know you enjoyed it. My wife enjoyed it as well.
Exactly.
But in the most recent episode of My Dress Up Darling, Marin really went off the handle. And I kind of wanted to record a section of it, but my Roku box messed up, so I wasn't actually able to record it. But Marin went all weird and funky on her Dakimakura pillows. And because they were Dakimakura pillows, all I could think of is you. I wanted to record it and send it to you. But like I said, my Roku box kind of screwed up and everything froze. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to worry about it now.
It's okay. I'll make time. I'll make time maybe after this, because the one good thing about having been asleep practically all afternoon is I'm not as tired now as I was. So I may actually have
He
some
says as he
energy.
yawns.
I may actually have some energy to spare, because when you sleep all day, you actually got to go to bed at night, even if you are catching up on sleep and you can't fall asleep right away because you've had so much sleep already.
Yeah. Oh, I know. My sleep schedule is so messed up because of working for the railroad.
Oh, Lord. But do you regret it?
And Ross has it and nailed the scene exactly. He says, Doug, are you talking about Marin celebrating Shizuka's birthday? Yes.
Oh, about to say, my friend, I have told you about my friend Alan, right?
I think so.
Yeah. So did she basically pull what he did with Yuno?
Possibly.
Uh,
You have to watch it.
I know. I'm just saying, basically all he had to say was birthday, and I'm like, I bet you she did something similar to what my friend Alan did.
She made Gojo wear the mask for Shizuka, and she was all dressed up in the cosplay, and she just was freaking out. They bought they bought a cake and everything.
Yep, that's him. He didn't go quite that far, but he did something along.
She went full on overboard, like level 100 otaku mode for her favorite character.
And where are these girls in real life? I know they exist, but dang.
They're out there somewhere.
Probably hidden behind a computer screen.
And you thought there was never a girl online.
I know, right?
You like how I slipped that anime title right in there? It worked perfectly.
It works, though. Besides, she was just as crazy.
Season 2 of Vending Machine has gotten even better, in my opinion, as well. Like I said when season 1 came out, I went into it expecting stupidity and for it to be terrible, and I wanted to bash it for being, really bad isekai trash. And then it came out, and it turned out to have a really good storyline, really enjoyable characters, and you kind of wanted to root for these people. Season 2 has amped up the energy and made it, in my opinion, even better, which I'm happy to say that, I'm really excited about season 2. I have not been disappointed. They have a good storyline, and it's kind of neat to see how things are going. And in the most recent episode, you get to see Lamas lose her shit. I have never seen Lamas so enraged in my life. And I think you have not started Vending Machine, but oh my God. Lamas was ready to genuinely kill somebody.
Mm.
It took an actual bear person to hold her back and calm her down.
Well, when girls get enraged enough, things happen.
And Sean Knight in the chat says that the English dub for My Dress Up Darling Season 2 is now streaming on Crunchyroll. Ross also says he's been watching Cultural Exchange with the Game Center Girl. I am behind on that. If I have the energy after the show, I might try to catch up on that one.
What's the one? Is it A Flower Blooms with Dignity or something or another? My friends have been posting about that, saying they're getting secondhand embarrassment because of how cute it is.
I don't know. A Flower Blooms. I'm looking for. So did they say if it was on Crunchyroll or?
I don't remember, but and then of course my other friends have been talking about. There's no freaking way I'll be your lover unless, which is our Yuri anime.
I have not watched that one. I have been. Let's see. Of the stuff that's airing, I've been watching Turkey, which has been interesting.
Oh yeah, don't spoil that one.
I'm not going to spoil that for you, Darren. I'm just going to say it is absolutely nothing of what I expected it to be.
Oh Lord.
And I don't know if that's good or bad. Reincarnated as a seventh prince so I can take my time and study and learn my magical abilities. Season 2, that's just gotten more unhinged. Season 1 was unhinged. Season 2 has gotten even worse.
Which one?
Seventh Prince.
Oh, yeah, that's list.
That has gotten so unhinged. Like I think I'm watching it more just to see. I think I'm watching it more just to see what happens next, rather than it's actually like any good.
Okay. Oh, I was right. The fragrant flower blooms with dignity. My bad.
I'm guessing that's not on Crunchy. I did not see it.
No.
Is that a high dive one?
Probably. Or if not, then it's one of those few that didn't get picked up by anybody. But guess what the Mal rating on it is right now?
What's that?
Well, Dress Up Darling's at 8.4 right now. This is at 8.8.
Oh my goodness. Ross says that Flower Blooms with Dignity is in Netflix jail until September 7th. That's right. That's when everybody was pissed about because Netflix was holding on to it.
And also, it's a Cloverworks title, which is the studio is cooking this season because they're doing that, they're doing Bunny Girl, and they're doing Dress Up Darling. So you got Cloverworks working on 3 of the top anime this season.
Damn. You go, Cloverworks. My God. I might have to check that out.
What was that?
I might have to check that one out. I'm going to write that on my list here.
Well, like I said, my friends have said it's so wholesome that they're getting secondhand embarrassment just watching these characters. So that right there tells me that it's good.
It could either be really, really good, or it's going to have the same feel as what was that other wholesome one that we had started watching that was just like too ridiculous and I dropped.
But
the one where they ended up like getting married, but like couldn't even hold hand.
Tony Kawa?
Yeah.
Oh. But holy crap. So there are a lot of anime this season that are maintaining an 8 or higher. That's impressive. Toilet season 2, part 2, I think.
Season 2, part 2. That has been really good as well.
Yep, it's got a 7.91. So almost an 8. And
Okay.
then the other shows with an 8, 8.47 to Dan season 2, 8.44 to Dress Up Darling, Kaiju number 8, 7.94, Flower Blooms with Dignity, 8.8, Gachi Akuta, I don't know that one, 8.09, Call of the Night season 2, 8.21. The Summer Hikaru Died, I believe, 8.21. Bunny Girl, 8.42. Sakamoto Days, 7.91. Shield Hero 4, 7.45. Grand Blue Season 2, 8.74. Dr. Stone, 8.24.
Ross is asking solo camping for 2 rating. What did they get on?
Solo Camping, I don't know which one that is. Hold on.
Yeah, it's called solo camping for 2.
I'll look. Hold on. Seventh Prince is 7.63. Secrets of the Silent Witch, 7.91. Um, let's see. The new Panty and Stocking has an 8.11.
Oh wow! I watched the first episode of that, and holy crap, that's even more off the hinge than the original was, and I didn't think that was possible.
I thought they said they were keeping that one toned down.
Not from what I saw in the first episode.
I'm looking for your thing, Ross. Hold on. Let's see. Couple of Cuckoos, season 2's in the low 7s. Vending Machine is only at a 6.67. That's kind of funny. But it's not as bad as Rent a Girlfriend. It's at a 6.23.
Let's see if I can help to scroll down. Ruri Rock 7.66. That's gotten a higher rating than Vending Machine. I'm sorry, I think that's wrong. I have started watching Ruri Rocks. It's an interesting show, but the main character, the girl, is just absolutely annoying.
With You in the Rain. What am I looking for again for Ross?
Solo camping for 2, 6.55.
Oh, I see it. I hadn't gone down far enough.
6.55 on that one. Bless you. Cultural Exchange with a Game Center Girl at 6.99. Welcome to Outcast Restaurant, show that I started watching, 7.21.
Oh, look. They have a show about something that has slowly gone away in America.
Common Sense?
That too. No. It's called See You Tomorrow at the Food Court.
Yeah, I've heard of that one. That's a Crunchyroll title, I believe, and I have not started it.
Turkey only has a 6.4 right now.
That doesn't surprise me. I'm not going to give anything away, but that if everybody went into it with a certain mindset and what they're seeing, I can understand it. It's not a bad anime. It's just not what I was expecting.
Okay.
It's I can't say of the shows I'm watching that any of them I would consider to be like literal garbage.
Let's see, and I'm sure Ross is Ross watching the Mikadana sisters? I can't remember who said he was gonna watch that one or no. And then a couple of Cuckoos season 2 is out as well.
Ross
Uh,
says, "Wait a minute, Outcast is better than solo camping." I think that's wrong. And the one that you said Darren, he said he's skipping.
okay. What about Watarikun's XXX is about to collapse?
We'll give us a minute to find out if he's. Don't mind me leaning over. I have a new setup. I'm just waiting for a couple of like one more piece to try to get it to be an extended setup. I do have two dual monitors now, but I have the same screen, like the same image showing on both because I got a splitter instead of the piece I was supposed to get because I don't know any better. I was left unsupervised. And this is what happened. So I look at it and I look this way and I'm looking at one monitor. I look this way and I've got the other one. Eventually I will get it to where I can have the continuous or the extended screen. So that way when I am playing games, I can have the games up on one and you guys and chat and everything on the other monitor and I can see everything. I can play full screen games and not have to constantly look at my phone to see what's going on in chat and stuff like that.
So you're on your way to that of a VTuber and a streamer. Got it.
I'm not VTubing yet.
Yeah.
I don't have the time or the money. And Ross wants to know the rating for Betrothed to My Sister's Ex, which that's a show my wife's watching. And she says she has been enjoying that one. I just passed by that too, and I didn't think to say that is a 719. So Outcast Restaurant is doing better than Sister's Ex. That's insane.
I was gonna say, Doug, but the problem is some of these VTubers make too good money.
Oh, I know. Some of the VTubers are just so talented that they make a ton. They bring in a ton of money. They've got a lot of sponsorships. They get a lot of deals. They're able to make a lot of appearances. But there's also a ton of VTubers out there that are, fairly young. Doesn't mean that they are. Now, when I say young, I mean they haven't been streaming that long, and they haven't gotten the lucky breaks that a Shy Lily or an Iron Mouse or a Bow the Whale has gotten.
I'm sorry, but Bow the Whale is a whole different breed.
Yeah, she started off wholesome, and she really went unhinged. I started watching her when she like was first getting popular, and it seems like the more popularity, the more off the rails she's gotten. I haven't watched her stuff much in a while. I usually tend to watch if I'm watching one of the more well-known streamers. I'm either watching like a Fillion or Iron Mouse or Shy Lily still. But I kind of like finding I'll go on Twitch and I'll find people who've got 10 or under views that have VTuber icons and check them out.
So, about to say, what about VTubers like, let's see, two that I know aren't part of anything. I think it's Rena Luxfer or Luxfer or something or another, and Inksy.
I don't know them.
You don't know them? I
No.
see their stuff pop up in my whatchamacallit fairly often.
I do know of like Rainho, who is, I think she's a mod on Sea Dog VA's channel, but she's also does VTubing, and she's part of like Holo Live, I think it is. I think I'm behind on Scooped Up by an S Rank Adventurer too. I started watching that one. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I have 4 or 5 shows I need to catch up on.
Well, better than me.
Yeah, you need to catch up on all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Ross says I'm being serious. Going to try to convince Darren to check out Scooped Up by an S Rank Adventurer because yesterday's episode had almost fan service moment, and I know he likes fan service.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to take a quick moment to, we're talking about VTubers, take a quick moment to give a shout out to AiraVT, who was supposed to join us a few weeks ago, but because of having some AC problems in her apartment and computer issues that have developed because of it, she has been unable to join us. But we are looking at trying to set a date for next month. But tonight she is celebrating her 2 years of streaming. So congrats to Eira on 2 years of streaming and VTuber and stuff like that. So when we are able to get her on, it's going to be a fun show. I popped in her chat for about half hour earlier today just to catch some of the stream and say congratulations to her. She likes to play like the horror games and some of that stuff, so it's not really my type of genre of games to play or watch, but I enjoy like the chatting. She's really good about interacting with the fans and the viewers in the chat and stuff. So and she's also shown her support for us every time I'm in there and chatting with her. They post a link up to our Twitch channel and stuff. So, throw a lot of love out. If you want to check out her channel, go to twitch.tv and search EiraVT. That is her username. Check out her channel. Like I said, I think she might even still be streaming now. She is playing Elden Ring.
Mm.
So just somebody who is going to be a future guest on the show, and just need to get everything figured out when she can actually join us. I know you said not to spoil anything about Turkey. Trying to see what else have I been watching. I think everything on my list I have actually checked out. Looking at my list here, everything I'd written down that shows I was going to watch, I have actually started watching. Just need to catch up on some of them. I just added that Flower Blooms with Dignity, which I will probably have to go to an external site to find. I'm sure I know people who know sites where I can find it. If I don't, I'm sure Darren knows people who knows sites.
Who knows what?
a site where I could find that Flower Blooms with Dignity show.
Yeah.
Ross in the chat says, speaking of horror, my family and I watched the Sinners movie today. My mom and sister both regret watching. They weren't expecting vampires towards the end. Speaking of vampires, there's actually a vampire museum here in Pennsylvania that my wife found, and she wants to go check it out. I guess it's a vampire and paranormal museum. I will check that out after the show. But what's your take on vampires and jump into like a little bit of the horror genre and spooky stuff for animes? What has been your take on vampires and anime? I mean, it's not a new trope. It's been around for ages.
I mean, I've never minded them. I mean, some of my first anime were ones with vampires. Rosario Vampire, Dance of the Vampire Bun. Not exactly horror, but still not exactly the most pleasant shows involving vampires.
Yeah, you had Vampire Night.
Let's see, wasn't Hellsing?
I think that had something to do with vampires too.
I want to say Alucard. And then let's see what other show. Then on the wholesome side of vampires, you had the interviews with monster girls.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And then, of course, you got High School DxD with Jasper, because he is a vampire.
Yeah. Restaurant to Another World had vampires in it. And even as recent as this season with Call of the Night is about vampires.
Mm-hmm. One has a brain on her shoulder, and the others, well, I don't know, they just seem rude.
I have to ask, Darren. You saw season 1, right?
Uh-huh.
How old do you think Nazuna is?
How what?
How old do you think Nazuna is?
Probably as old as sorry, excuse me. Maybe as old as our friend Senko.
She is not as old as Senko. Ross is 35 in the chat. John Knight, if you're still in the chat, if you're still around, you want to take a guess as to how old Nazuna is? Even though she doesn't say her actual age in the most recent episode, she does give an age range.
She's probably about 100, 200 years old.
But she's not as old as you think. Like, I'm not sure what her age was when she got turned to a vampire. But
so she wasn't a natural so she's not a natural born vampire.
No, she's like a lot of the other ones got turned, and then as they got older, they've lost the memories of when they were, humans. Mm-hmm. Which means she fell in love before because she got turned. And you know how she has trouble talking about love and romance stuff, but is fine making dirty jokes.
Mm-hmm. I have to say, she's almost more unhinged than Maren when it comes to making dirty jokes and making them seem totally innocent.
But she in the anime, she says she's somewhere between 30 and 40 years old as a vampire.
And she looks like she's about 15, 18.
Yeah. And John Knight in the chat says that yesterday was Jeremy Lee's birthday. Voice of Lucy in Fairy Tale, Patty Thompson in Soul Eater, Asuna in Sword Art Online, Pixie Bob in My Hero Academia, and Kimi Tudo in Fruits Basket. You also forgot Yoshiko Miyafuji in Strike Witches. And the first voice actress I ever had the honor of interviewing. So very big happy birthday to Jeremy Lee. I hope that she was able to celebrate it and have a wonderful time. She is such a sweetheart. I've been very fortunate enough to have met her a couple of times in person at conventions, and she's just such a really. Most of the voice actors are just wonderful people. I've always had very pleasant experiences with everybody that we've either had on the show or have been lucky enough to meet in person at conventions. Ross says he'll be meeting Jeremy Lee in September at a Comic-Con. Awesome. I hope that you have a wonderful time at the convention, and hopefully Jeremy is as much of a sweetheart there as she has been every time that I've talked with her and seen her at conventions. I know this weekend was Kineticon. Sadly, we were unable to go. But hopefully, if you were able to go, hopefully you had a good time. I know one of my Facebook friends had a bad experience at Kineticon based off of cosplay. It was like a cosplay battle type thing. And there was a mix-up in either paperwork or somehow she registered, got accepted, got the badge, got everything saying that she was supposed to be a part of it, got to the cosplay battle, and they told her they didn't have her on the list. So she wasn't allowed to participate. So somewhere things got messed up. I don't know the whole story behind it. I just know like one side of what I've seen on Facebook. So I can't say if there was, let's be honest, anybody that's worked at a convention knows that there's a lot of stress, a lot of craziness that happens, and trying to organize these events and stuff. They do the best they can. So I'm not going to put a blame on anybody there. I'm just going to say it's bad that it happened. I also heard that another person was able to go to Kineticon, had a disability with crippling social anxiety to the point of panic attacks and stuff like that. They had a handicap badge because of the disability. And one of the staffers with Kineticon noticed them about to have one of their breakdowns, went in, talked with them, calmed them down, and was able to help them out by moving them to the head of the line to get an autograph, which nobody had a problem with, which was great to see. I think everybody understood what's going on. Because let's be honest, a lot of people who are fans of anime, video games, the otakus, a lot of them do have social anxiety to some sort of, some level. A lot of times it's all you can do to muster up to get out to these conventions, be around a large crowd. It takes a lot of energy and mental toughness to deal with a lot of this stuff. So I've heard very good stories from Kineticon. I've heard one friend said that they had a bad time, but we shall see if Kineticon's a possibility for me next year or not. I don't know. I also know that convention coming up in August, that's not too far from me, is also going to fall on a weekend that my in-laws are going to be here. So I don't know if I'm going to be going to that or not. That's going to all depend on time off from work and being able to break away, because I really would love to meet Bryn April in person, but I'm not sure exactly if it's going to be possible. Like I said, my work schedule changes at the drop of a hat. So Pluta and Kiyoshi Game Playing Idiots in the chat says that they were able to meet Sarah Ann Williams in November of 2023. Cool person, but they're going to Superstar Anime next week. Sweet. I hope you have a great time. John Knight says that today is the 15th anniversary for the My Bride is a Mermaid dub. Does that make you feel old, Darren?
Never watched the original, but I know about it, so yeah.
I did watch it dubbed. That was one of those shows that I laugh every time I think about it. You know how there's certain voice actors that you like, doesn't matter what character they're voicing, how they change their voice, there's just some nuance that you're like, oh, that is so and so. There are some voice actors, that you just know the voice and you're like, oh, that right there is this person or that person. The first 30 seconds of My Bride is a Mermaid, I hear the main male character scream and go, that's Todd Habercorn. It sounded just like Skune. The scream was exactly the same as Skune. Like the way they talked and everything, the tone and stuff was different, but the scream, I'm like, that's Skune. That's Todd. Try to think of Ross in the chat says, I am so sorry. Me and Darren forgot a vampire anime that was good. It's called Actually I Am and Blood Lad.
Never watched either, but I know Blood Lad is just like Gintama, where it likes to pick on other series.
And then he also said, speaking of Bryn April, she is doing the English voice of Lily, our main character in today's episode 1 of the English dub of Culture Exchange with Game Center Girl. I might have to, since I've only watched one episode of that, I might just start watching that in English and end up being behind on the show. Especially if I'm going to have a chance of meeting Bryn here in a few weeks. I might want to check that out in English so I can appreciate more of her work. Also want to try to get her back on the show. It's been years since we've been able to talk with her. But so much stuff going on, and I'm trying to think of like what other kind of spooky type anime tropes have we seen. I mean, you've always got the ghosts. John Knight and the chat's got a question for you, Darren, asking, have you watched Yamada's First Time, Bigata HK?
I know what Yamada is. I only made it through the first 3 or 4 episodes and got too busy with other shows to continue it. Oh, gives me a minute. My nose is driving me nuts.
That time of year. That anime was another one that was. There's so many shows out there that just go off the rails in some way, shape, or form.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but as that series progressed, she slowly gave up on the whole 100 guys thing, didn't she?
I think so. As the whole series progressed, she still was trying to get over the hump of number 1 of 100.
Yep.
And Plutia and Kiyoshi Gameplaying Idiot said they just finished watching Blue Archive anime and loved it. I don't know Blue Archive.
Heard of it, never. Don't know much about it. Sounds like it started as a game.
Oh, like Uma Musume.
Yeah. Well, let's be honest. Cygames has had a really good reputation for putting out good shows that are based off of games.
The animes were fantastic. So, and my wife even laughed when she saw me start playing it. She goes, "I knew it was only a matter of time." Once I started seeing ads for this popping up on my phone, she goes, "I knew it was a matter of time before you're going to start playing it." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm guilty." It's a very enjoyable game. It's challenging because you have to use your brain to try to figure out the best way to raise these girls' levels in like 5 different things, and then they have to they have to actually run these races. Which anybody who's seen me stream it when playing it last week, and I'll probably try to do it a couple of times this week as well. There's a lot that goes into it, and then even though you put all the hard work into trying to raise the levels properly and everything, there's still luck that goes in. You can have everything set right, and then all of a sudden, just like in actual racing, your horse girl's locked in. She can't get around people, even though she has all the stats, and she's the number one overall favorite. I've had number one overall favorites that have come in last because they ran out of stamina or they got blocked in or something like that. So it's enjoyable, and it is a gacha game. I work hard to try to gain the carrots. I don't put money into these games. Outside of an initial investment, I'm not one that's like, oh, there's a new patch, I need to spend the money to upgrade this or do that. I've never really been that kind of person, partially because I don't have the money to do it, and partially because I just can't see dumping a ton of money in on. It's very contradicting to say I can't see dumping a bunch of money in on something that's not a guarantee because I buy scratch tickets and stuff like that. But I don't do it on video games. Not saying I haven't been tempted or that I wouldn't accept gifts, but I'm not as bad as some other streamers that I've seen playing it. Who did I see? I think Iron Mouse was playing it, and there was a certain girl she was going after. I think she put in like $150 or $200 into the game to get enough carrots to do enough pulls to try to get one specific character, and she was losing it because it was like a tough character to get, and I think she ended up doing like 8-10 character pulls, which each 10 character pull is 1,500 carrots. So gives you an idea of how much carrots that she had to purchase to be able to do that. And I think it was like on her last run, she finally got her. I forget which character it was, but like she was like, if I swear stream, if I don't get this character, I'm ending stream. She goes, you better pray that I get the character, I'm ending stream. Doesn't get it. Then she bought more carrots. That's when she pulled like 3 more, and then on the last one, she finally got the horse girl she was hoping for. I think part of the reason I don't put money into it is because I know I would, if I had the money to, I would be like that, being like, I need to get this character. because I can already see that with Uma Musume, trying to earn up enough carrots from all the achievements to be able to try for a specific character, because they've got two new horse girls that you can use in career mode and two new support cards. So it's like I want to get these, but I do not put money into it. I don't have the money to put into it, and if I did, it would be bad. And the game playing idiots say they don't spend money on gotchas, which that's a good thing.
The only time I ever paid for a game was to get top tier level access to something that I could have gotten top tier access to almost 20 years ago for the exact same price. The price never changed in 20 years.
Interesting.
And
I figured you were going to say it was for a high school DxD mobile game or something.
No. It was for Adventure Quest. Babylon. So that game is like over 20 years old now. And on top of that, the Guardianship was $19.95 back then, and to my knowledge, it is still that price now.
Wow. Speaking of old games, do you remember Neopets?
Yes.
That's still going.
Mm.
I don't know how old it is, but I know it's still going. Because I saw a short on, I think it was like a Facebook short or something the other day. Somebody was talking about Neopets. I'm like, what? And then my wife started playing a game. I think it's on, I'm not sure if it's on Roblox or whatnot. It's called Adopt Me, where they go and do tasks and gain money to buy pets. And she keeps telling me that she would be, she thinks I would like it, but I'm like, I've got too much stuff I'm doing now. I just played Minecraft today for the first time in probably a month and a half. In fact, we started a realm over because we couldn't remember what we were doing on the other one that had done. So we're like, oh, just start fresh. Game Playing Idiot says that they were able to get good pulls without spending money on the last gacha they played. Ross says the original Teen Titans cartoon aired 22 years ago.
We're old.
Good Lord. And the Game Playing Idiots say that 22 years, that's the same year that they were born.
No, I feel old.
And the Twitch bots come around again. We must be doing something right because the Twitch bots have been paying mine to us. But it is what it is. I'm not too worried about them. I'm not one to focus on stuff like that. And I clicked on a wrong tab here. There we go. What other kind of spooky animes can you think of, Darren? I know we always talk about ghost stories on here. What about Ghost Hunt? Do you remember that one?
Not really.
That one was an interesting one because that was about ghost hunting. and stuff like that. Ross says the Chaos series was good. And for those of you keeping track, the new kitten that we got, that my wife found, is a little demon spawn.
But anyway, those are the two I'm talking about.
Ah, okay.
Now do you recognize them?
Inksy, the character kind of looks familiar, but the name does not. And the other one, Rena Lisper, I have not seen before.
Okay.
But I love the eyes. I for whatever reason, I love the different colored eyes on characters.
That's why I like Kirby. That's also why I like Rika from Shuni Blue.
I thought you were going to say Rika from Hogany.
She didn't have different colored eyes, though, did she?
I don't think so. She was
I
just very out there. That was Kobuto.
Komako, exactly.
Yeah, Kobuto. But she was too young to even think of. An update from Angela. They're just getting done with dinner. Still got to drive home. I don't know if she's going to be joining us or not. Like I said, if she's able to, fantastic. If not, totally understandable. Anybody who's gone to conventions knows that it takes a lot out of you, especially if you work them as a vendor, as a volunteer, staffer, or anything like that. I mean, even Darren has gone to conventions and ended up working and helping out people to pack up stuff and things like that. So you know firsthand that they can be very draining.
Yep. Especially when the convention center's like, y'all need to be out by da-da-da-da-da-da because we have da-da-da-da-da coming in, because the convention centers are many times have events going on constantly. So as soon as they ship y'all out, they're working on something else. Like, for instance, for us, I think it was so schools could get ready for graduation, because since we're on Memorial Weekend, we're always toward the end of May, and graduations normally start like a couple days afterwards.
Okay.
Because it was very weird my senior year, to have gone to Anime-Zing and then having to go back to the convention center less than a couple days later for a whole different reason.
Yeah, it's amazing, and it's amazing how these spaces can transform in mere days from one event to another. The convention I went to a few weeks ago in Oaks, PA, that was the same venue that we went to for a horror con. This one was a gaming con. There's a Comic-Con coming up, which is one that Bryn April's going to be at. This coming weekend, I'm not going to be around, but there's also a train show at that location. So it's just it's one big space, but they just rent it out, and in mere hours, it transforms into a completely different seen and feel from what it was the last time that you were at it. It's crazy.
Yep. And one of my customers, did you go to that one with me in downtown? In downtown, that had that older house.
I don't remember. Some of we went to so many places, and me only having been there once, it's tough to remember unless they really stood out. A couple of them really stood out to me. You had the one where the neighbor had the goat that was out wandering around. You had the one with the chickens.
Yep.
And you had the one that had the car in the yard, and like 3/4 of the lawn was just roots sticking up that you had to be careful of.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to go back to that one to do the backyard after they were home.
Yep. But anyway, this one, the guy, he was a producer of sorts for a lot of shows. So he was the one that was in charge of building and tearing down sets and whatnot, um, for a lot of different shows. So he knows all about making stuff change in a heartbeat.
Ross in the chat says there was a show he never got to watch 10 years ago because he found Tia Ballard's character to be beautifully pretty, and he couldn't get past the first 5 minutes of episode 1 and dropped the show. Now he can't find anywhere to watch it. It was called Shiki.
Shiki's one of those horror animes that's like, whenever you start talking horror anime, it's one that comes up because it's a classic.
Yeah, he said he knows it was a horror anime. He just can't find anywhere to watch it. It was on Funimation, but since the merge, Crunchyroll never put it on their app.
Typical. Well, they may no longer have the rights to it.
Yeah. Plus, I think Crunchyroll is still finalizing rights and moving stuff over from the Funimation database. I still see old shows pop up from time to time on Crunchyroll. It's like newly added. I'm like, that show's like 20 years old. How is that new? Fuzia and Kiyoshi said they did cancel going to a convention once to go to a theme park. Interesting. Would you rather go to an anime convention, Darren, or go to a theme park?
I don't know.
And something is really funny upstairs. I can hear my daughter laughing over the headphones. I don't know if you can hear her as well, but she's having a good time up there. And I hope you all like the new backdrop behind me. I changed the picture around a little bit to have, killing slimes. Figured I'd change it up every now and then.
There you go, Ross. And Shiki actually had 22 episodes originally, and it also had 2 OVA episodes, and they actually got those episodes dubbed, which is rare. OVA and ONA episodes almost never get dubbed. But it is a fantasy, horror, mystery, supernatural show.
I'm trying to think of what other shows have like spooky themes to them, or
Another.
I never saw that one.
Yeah, I'm sure you've seen it though. It's the one where the girl with the eye patch and the black hair. The one where the girl falls down the steps with the umbrella.
I'm sure I've seen stuff. I know I've heard of it. I just have never watched it. I know of it.
Then there's like Blood Plus, Blood C.
Then you had oh God, what was the name of it? It was the one with the Senkareya with the
Sakureya.
yeah,
Yep, the zombie.
the zombie side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Show by Rock had a spooky area, had like a spooky area in the world that they lived in.
Well, you can somewhat count this, not really, but High School of the Dead.
Yeah, I mean, High School DxD's got the the spooky side of stuff to it. Toilet Bound Hanako-kun is all about the
Ghosts and
ghosts and the seven
spirits.
spirits. It's
You're
not
welcome.
uncommon to see a lot of stuff having to do with spooky topics. I mean, even Vending Machine. They're in a dungeon and they have to go up against skeletons and flaming skulls and ghosts, and there's a whole level. There's a whole stratum level that's just like a ghost town and has to deal with the spooky stuff.
About to say. Then we got. Is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon?
Yep. I mean, anything with any of the like dungeon animes.
Goblin Slayer.
Yeah. Goblin Slayer, Demon Slayer. It's a topic that like is always finds its way into just about everything.
Let's see. This one was more psychological, but Occultic 9.
And then you had, was it Mirai
Yeah.
Nikki?
Yep, Mirai Nikki, The Future Diary. Not necessarily horror, but it's still a scary situation to be in.
Yeah, and then you had okay, I'm drawing a blank now, but it's the Magical Girl like horror anime.
Madoka?
Madoka Box.
No,
but not Madoka Box. Madoka Magica. That's what I meant.
Well, actually, almost all of the Magical Girl animes are horror in some way, shape, or form, or very dark. Magical Girl Raising Project was dark as well.
Yeah, gushing over magical girls.
That's just horny.
That's just a different kind of dark. Konosuba's got horror in there. Even the picture behind me, you've got the ghost girl that's floating.
The only horror with Konosuba was Kazuma getting chased by the female orcs.
Yeah. So it's definitely a subject, as we said, that's constantly in there. Platia says a Symphogear had some dark moments as well.
There are very few shows that don't have their dark moments. I mean, even Horimiya had dark moments when Hori got pissed.
Yeah, Zombieland Saga dealing with zombies, even though it's kind of like in a goofy, happy light. I mean, that opening scene of her just getting hit by the truck in a theatrical performance that is going to be a meme forever now. They knew what they were doing when they made that.
Well, Don't forget, Is This a Zombie did it first.
Mm-hmm.
And besides, what other show does a girl stab you just so she can get close enough to you to cuddle?
High School DxD.
Hmm, Raynari wasn't interested in cuddling. Kyoko was.
Uh, True.
Kyoko, excuse me.
School Days. That's another really dark one.
Yeah, that you don't know it's like that until the last two episodes. You can
Yeah,
go
that
the whole series without realizing why the tags are listed under what it is until the last two episodes.
yeah, because I was like, oh, this is really good. I'm kind of enjoying this. What the fart? You know.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just got goofy animes. There are animes out there that are just insanely stupid, but some are just really stupid in a bad way, and some are stupid funny. Something like a Sergeant Frog is stupid funny.
Kill
And
I
then,
Kill was stupid funny in many cases.
yeah, even like the original Fully Cooley was stupid funny. I haven't seen any of the new ones, but I've heard not so good things about the new ones. I've heard a lot of people say they should have just left it alone at the six, but that was one of those shows. I watched all 6 episodes in succession, and I still can't tell you what it was about.
About like Pop Team Epic.
Yeah, that one, season one of Pop Team Epic was stupid funny. I watched the first episode of season two, and I'm like, this is just stupid. It's not even funny. It's just stupid. I could not get beyond one episode of season two. There are times when we talk about, shows that they get a second season and you're like, it doesn't really need a second season, but the second season comes out and it like really fits and is really good. A few of them that are airing this season are like that. Pop Team Epic didn't need a second season, and it proved it didn't need a second season because it was horrible.
Well, Mob Psycho didn't need a third season. It could have wrapped up with season two, but that third season was so well done. We were like, okay, you made your point.
Like I know a lot of people with vending machine was like, they didn't need a second season, but when I went back and rewatched the first season and then started season two, I'm like, they kind of just kept going on a topic that was briefly touched about at the end of season one. So I can see why they made a season two, and it actually is very fitting. So I'm kind of excited to see where it goes, and it's been really, really good season two. In fact, the few season twos that I'm watching this season, Dress Up Darling is doing an awesome job. Season two, Call of the Night has been fantastic. I don't think you're going to be disappointed by Call of the Night.
I wasn't disappointed with it initially. Very rarely am I disappointed in second seasons. Mock and Key was one of those where I was incredibly disappointed.
I'm trying to think. I think some of the longer series that are out there's always those questions of does it need another season, and then as another season comes out and it bombs, and then the season after that's fantastic. You see stuff like that with like Fairy Tale had its ups and downs,
One
uh,
Piece,
One Piece, My Hero, Demon
Dragon
Slayer,
Ball.
Attack on Titan. John Knight in the chat says, what's the worst anime ever? Ross answers
That,
back,
that's
Handshakers.
that's very subjective. Handshakers wasn't the worst anime I've seen, Raw. Conception gets that award.
For me, it was high school, a tie between Conception and High School Days.
High school days?
or school days. I'm sorry. The one we were just talking about where it just turned school days.
Yep. I could also throw in Aiken in there because I hated it so much when I initially watched it. That reminds me, that's still a show that we're gonna watch when you and I see each other next, Doug.
Yeah.
Just so I can show you just how bad it actually is. Um, and if I'm not mistaken, I can only find the last time I tried to find it, I could only find the dub, which was even worse.
Last time you said you could only find the dub.
Hey, like the opposite of interspecies reviewers.
Yeah.
But yeah. Now, there are some people that there's a certain show I'm trying to remember that people said was god awful. Uh, uh, Giviate. You know, it's sad. There was one show that my anime list was hyping up to be an interesting topic, and then the show completely bombed. I think it was called Giviate or something or another. Then there was another one. I don't remember names here.
There's
There's too
so
many.
many.
There's too many anime.
I will say for this season of anime they actually have done really good. I know we constantly talk about you know watching a bunch of shows and they were mediocre, or is there any good animes out anymore, stuff like that. But this season, most of what I'm watching, I would say is at least a 7 or higher if I had to give a rating.
Well, and my anime list agrees with you because as we were going over a lot of the titles earlier, a lot of them were sevens or higher.
Like Dress Up Darling, from what I've seen thus far in season 2, I would give that probably an 8.5. Call of the Night, I would give a 9. I don't think I could give anything a 10, but I think Call of the Night is probably the highest rated one that I would say I'm watching. Vending Machine season 2, I'd give that probably a 7.5. Seventh Prince, I would probably give a 7.1 to maybe a 7.0, because like I said, that's just more towards the goofiness, and it's just kind of stupid, and I've watched thus far, so I'm just going to continue to watch, see what happens. Toilet Bound Hanako-kun, I'd put that at like an 8.5. Scooped Up by an S-Rank Adventure, I'd put that probably a 7.5. Outcast's Restaurant, I'd put that at like a 7.5. Turkey, I would put at like a 7. Turkey actually might be one, depending on. I've only seen 2 episodes. I would put it at a 7 with a question mark right now. Ruri Rocks, I would put at probably like a 7.2.
Oh, Doug, I just thought of something because I happened to look over because I haven't seen it for a while. But take a guess as to who I have currently. I forgot.
Who you have?
Yep, currently with me.
Oh, Marin.
Mm-hmm. I just happened to look over and I'm like, yeah, I forgot about her because she was on the other end of the bed. Hmm.
When you're surrounded by too many Dakamakras, that you forget what you've got.
Yep. So right now, it's actually kind of funny. I got her, Kirby, Zenobia, and then you never watched Defrag, did you?
I did not.
And the other one is Takeo from Defrag. She's the girl with the oversized chest.
Ross in the chat says this is a news statement for Doug. Sorry, Darren, too young. But Netflix announced that a live action Captain Planet and the Planeteers is in production with Leonardo DiCaprio as executive screenwriter.
I've heard of the series, Ross, just not my thing.
Not my thing either. I didn't even watch it when it was around the first time. I know of it. I just kind of like Transformers. I never really got into it, but I know people. I know some people that were huge into it and still are. Our friend Ben, our friend Ben Santos actually, I think over the weekend had a live stream on his Facebook page where he was talking with somebody who has a recreation of one of the Transformers.
My dad was a Transformers person, I believe. He wasn't huge into it, but whenever the movies came on, he would always take the time to.
Because I remember like growing up, there were certain shows that I was drawn to, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was a big one of mine. I always enjoyed like Snorks over Smurfs. I like Fraggle Rock. Nickelodeon had a cartoon called Danger Mouse that I absolutely loved when I was a kid in like elementary school.
It's a generational thing, but it just hits so different when you say you like TMNT, because I did too, but my version was the 2003 version.
Yeah, and mine was original.
Mhm.
That's crazy to think. It's like I remember the original TMNT. I remember like when The Simpsons first came out. And now you're seeing shows that are going on 20, 30 years. It's like, good Lord, I remember when that first started. Jesus,
Well,
how old am I?
I'd say King of the Hill's coming back.
Yep, I'm not far off from being the grandpa. Back in my day, we used to watch music videos on TV.
Yeah. About to say that was back when music videos were very well done. Now I don't even know if music videos are even worth the production effort anymore.
I I'm not sure. Some of them are good, and some of them are just like mind, you know, mind craziness.
Probably one of the music videos I'll remember forever was Toby Keith's "A Little Too Late," and he basically had a girl sitting there, and he's singing about basically getting over her, and he's building an actual wall to separate him from her. And then he accidentally basically builds himself a wall into a corner with no doors.
Interesting. I don't think I've seen that video.
And
I,
then he's like, babe, sorry, let me out, please. but he's the one that constructed the wall into a corner.
I know videos that stick in my head. Rocket by Herbie Hancock, and a lot of these are videos from the 80s, just because they were like so cutting edge or just so different. I Want My MTV.
Mm-hmm. You mean Money for Nothing?
Yeah, Money for Nothing. That one that's just like an iconic video because of the computer animated graphics and stuff in that.
And I told you Def Leppard was ahead of its time by creating the original rendition of Ash Ketchum.
Yeah. And then I'd have to say there was one group that put out like 2 or 3 videos. I don't think they were in succession, but they had a few videos that were off of the same album that I grew to like the songs because I loved the videos. Red Hot Chili Peppers with Other Side and Californication.
Not trying to get weird here, but Californication needs to be looked at. If you listen to the lyrics, it's very creepy.
It is very creepy. But like I said, I grew to love the song because the video was just so intriguing to me. John Knight in the chat says 2 years ago today, Barbenheimer happened.
Wait, what?
Barbenheimer.
Never heard of it.
I don't know if I know that either.
I've heard of Oppenheimer, but not.
And Plutia says that they're really big into Beyblade and go to tournaments. That's cool. I heard that Beyblade was making a comeback. Who did I hear that from? I think it was the Trash Taste Boys. I think on one of their podcasts they were talking about they got Beyblades again at a convention and went to a tournament. So I never got into it, but I knew about it. I just didn't have the opportunity to really be that exposed to Beyblades, but
Thing. When I was growing up, it was Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! Those were the two that we messed around with. And modern day Yu-Gi-Oh! I just can't. Used to, you would make your turn and your opponent would go. Now, you have turns that'll take 10 minutes to complete. Because they link so many effects together, it's crazy.
yeah, it's kind of like the video games.
Mm-hmm. I literally watched a video earlier today where the guy literally handed his opponent Exodia. He literally handed his opponent all 5 pieces of Exodia and lost the duel.
Interesting. Ross in the chat says that Barbenheimer was the meme people made because a live-action Barbie movie and Oppenheimer came out the same day.
Oh.
So that's what Barbenheimer is.
Yeah, and Barbie destroyed Oppenheimer at the box office. And, well, from my understanding, Oppenheimer was actually one of those really good, very informal movies. I mean, it was about the atomic bomb, so.
Yeah, kind of like Minecraft destroyed that Disney live action. I think it was Snow White.
I believe I watched the live action for Maleficent or something along those lines. I don't remember. It was like Sleeping Beauty. We watched Maleficent side of things, or one of the Disney. We ended up watching the video, the story from the villain side of things. I don't remember.
Oh,
It was for something to do with school, I believe.
I don't know. In the chat, I missed this. I apologize, Ross. Ross says, and apparently news of a live action My Little Pony is supposed to be in the works as well.
Well, I saw that as well. The furries, I'm sure, are thrilled. And the brownies.
And it's going to turn into My Little Pony versus Uma Musume.
Uma Musume OP.
Twilight Sparkle versus Special Week.
There you go.
Haru Urara versus the pink one.
Sweetie Pie or something or another. Cutie Pie, Honey Pie, something pie. I think.
Something like, yeah, she was the one that liked all the sweets and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Applejack versus McQueen.
What about Teo? I don't know.
Tokai Teo against the snooty one that's all about fashion. I forget all their names.
Same, because I never watched any of it.
My daughter was big into My Little Pony for a while, so I've watched a few things with her. That's what happens when you have a little girl and now she's 7. And every now and then watches like the My Little Pony stuff. She's kind of gotten out of that, more into like the Minecraft. My wife and her sat down and watched a K-pop Monster Hunter movie or something like that.
Oh Lord. I remember around 7, 8 years old, my parents were hesitant to let me watch the Harry Potter series, even though I was starting to read them in school.
And it's funny.
PG-13.
It's funny, like you're saying that your parents were hesitant of letting you watch Harry Potter. I grew up on Bugs Bunny. Gangsters, mobsters, violence, guns, smoking, sexual innuendos, all kinds of stuff.
Well, the thing is, society as a whole, the more you know, the more you realize the innuendos and jokes that were being made back then and the violence and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You realize what all's going on. And as people became more aware, that's when people started to become more anal and offended by stuff. Because this generation can't take a joke for shit.
Yeah, this generation, I hate to say it, but the world has really gone downhill because of too many people easily offended. Nobody can take a joke. And everybody's so quick to jump down somebody else's throat about something that doesn't even matter to them.
Exactly.
But because we're on the age of the internet and we have opinions and we have a screen we can hide behind, we will voice our opinion, whether it be right, wrong, or indifferent, and don't care who it offends. But because it's offensive, you offended me, and now you need to stop doing that. And the world needs to stop doing that because I'm offended.
Exactly. So it's no longer, it is what it is, get over it. It's no, I'm going to stop everything to try and change the world because I'm offended.
And here's a news flash for people out there, and this could get taken out of context or this could get clipped and come back to bite me in the ass. But here's a news flash for a lot of the younger generation, especially those who, feel who have been overprotected or sheltered or whatnot. When you get into the real world, nobody really gives a damn about your feelings or things of that nature. You're expected to do certain things, and if you can't do them, then they discard you and find somebody who can. It's like that. That's what life is. It's not all roses and flowers and happy endings like in fairy tales and anime.
Nope, the world does not revolve around you. You do with life what, like, we have someone we hired fairly recently. She she was out for a week, and we were like, "What's going on? You didn't call out, nothing." She's like, "Oh, da 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 da. I have a doctor's excuse. I will be here. Da 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 da." She didn't show up that day, but she brought the excuse in with her. And then this past week, so then she came the following week. Then this past week, she was out the whole week again, no call, no show. And then we called her and was like, "Hey, what's the deal?" She's like, "I told you when I was hired that I couldn't work this week for da 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 reasons." And we were like, "We showed you where put to write it down and request off that you weren't going to be here." Da 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 da. And she's like, "No, y'all didn't." And and my boss, who gave her the tour, was like, "Yes, we did." So you know, it's like
Oh yeah,
the she's getting a wake up call to, hey, this is how the real world works, regardless of how you think it should work. You know,
yeah.
and we put up with a lot of stuff that we probably shouldn't when it comes to absenteeism and being late and all that. You go to some of these other companies, they're not going to put up with that.
Nope.
I think, like, even Walmart, I was told, has a fairly strict attendance policy that after 3 strikes, you're out.
The railroad's the same way. We have somebody who's um, on a watch system because of attendance. They have missed too many days. I think they called out 15 times this year already.
Hmm.
Um, so it's like if you don't want to work, they'll find somebody who does.
Exactly. Their mentality is, why are we paying you all this money if you're not even going to show up for what you agreed to when you were hired?
Mm-hmm. Ross in the chat says to add to Doug, kindness will get you dead, and no one wants to hear brutal honesty.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of shit got real tonight.
Yeah. You know, it's actually kind of funny. We got a employee that my boss doesn't understand how she has made it in life to an extent. And she said that, and this is her last week, she's returning to California. And she's like, "I don't understand how she's going to survive in California. Here in the South, people are a little bit nicer and tend to sugarcoat stuff. But over there on the West Coast, they don't sugarcoat nothing."
No, that's kind of like the Northeast too. You get up like New York City, Boston, stuff like that. They don't give a damn about feelings. They'll tell you exactly how it is.
Exactly, and that's my boss.
Ross in the chat says, as Michael Jackson once advertised, stop it and get some help.
But be careful where you get your help from, because a lot of times your help is not the best idea.
Yeah. Do you ever feel like sometimes you just feel like you should be living in anime because of the stupid stuff that happens? They always say real life is more stranger than fiction.
After all the anime we've seen, I beg to differ.
I know. I'm. I haven't walked up to it. I haven't found a talking vending machine or seen a sword go flying because it's
Or
got
I
a living
haven't,
soul.
or I haven't walked down in front of a truck expecting to get reincarnated.
I'm still waiting for the anime to come out where Truck-kun gets hit by Train-kun and Truck-kun is reincarnated.
There you go.
There is an idea for a future series. Anybody out there listening, just give me some credit. I'm not looking for anything, but Plutia and Kiyoshi say that they feel like they're in an anime every day they wake up. Ross
Well,
says, okay, positive subject. You can bring back anything from the past to modern day. What would you bring back to save the world? Something I would bring back to be evil would be to make kids make a phone call on a rotary phone. You're laughing. You're laughing because you know where I'm going with that. Why I said evil. Everybody nowadays wants the instant knowledge, instant everything. The rotary phone, you had to sit there and okay, do this, and then wait for it to go.
yep,
And then the
yep.
next
Look,
number.
I still have a rotary phone like you see in Andy. Well, not one with a. Well, this one has a dial on it, where it is a rotary, but it's the same style as the one on the Andy Griffith Show, and it's actually got the old hookup before the cables, like the Ethernet cables, were a thing. So it's four prongs into the wall.
Wow.
Yep, got it from my great aunt, whose house was wired for that stuff. But of course, they gave her the adapter. So yeah, I still have it's sitting in the office at my parents' house. So I gotta pick up the receiver and hold it to my ear, and then you gotta pick up the phone itself and potentially hold it to.
Oh, so
It's
it's one
got
of
the mouth.
those style.
Yes, and it's got the rotary
Oh
dial on
wow. That's insane.
it. I love that thing.
God, you bring something like that to work, I guarantee 95% of your employees would have no idea what it is.
Mm-hmm. And the worst part is, I guarantee 99% of them wouldn't be able to make a phone call with it because not for the fact they don't know how to use it, they don't know who to dial. They don't know phone numbers.
Yeah.
But to be,
I'll admit I've got so many numbers in this phone. I probably have two of them memorized.
yep, I know my parents' numbers, I know my work number, I know my boss's number, and I know my best friend's number. That's really about it.
Like I know my wife's number, and I think that's about it. Like you say work number. The thing is, there are so many people when it comes to work that I have to call at various times, depending on where I'm at, that I wouldn't be able to remember all those numbers.
Well, oh, I forgot. I do know the other store's phone numbers because I got to dial them every morning whenever I go to open the store because it's a security thing.
Ah,
Basically, when you open in the morning, you got to call certain stores. And if they don't pick up, you got to call that store's general manager. And if the general manager doesn't pick up, you got to call the area supervisor, which is not good.
yeah. Ross says he would bring back the 50s to 60s version TVs. Get up and turn the dial to change the channel, or horse carriages. Let's clean the air of smog. I live in Pennsylvania. I see horse-drawn carriages all the time because there are a ton of Amish and Mennonite people that live around here. Like, it's not an uncommon sight to see horse-drawn carriages or people riding bikes. Ross says, or typewriters. Let's send letters again. Oh my God, could you imagine today's generation trying to figure out how to type on a typewriter?
I know my grandma, she had one of those electronic typewriters, not one of the manual ones. I played with that thing when I was younger.
They were always a pain in the butt because you'd be typing something and you'd look up and the ribbon was almost gone.
Hmm.
And if you were lucky, it was its first time through because you could flip it over and then use the other side for the ink. If you'd already done that, then you're like, damn, I need to figure out how to change this stupid thing. If you really want to go old school, we could bring back the 8 tracks.
Look, I think I showed you my uncle's really big into that.
Mm-hmm. I grew up with them. We had an 8-track player in the house growing up.
Hmm.
I think my dad had like 15 or 20 8 tracks.
Plutia and Koshi game playing idiots. I still know how to use a VCR with modern day stuff. Like the converter box that is on TVs, that was required on TVs. I know how to use a VCR in tandem with that to this day. We never went to recording on DVDs and stuff. We all or saving for later via streaming or download. My mom and my dad and me still put stuff on VCR up until very recently, but we still have the capability to do it.
That's cool.
And also, VCR players are becoming quite valuable.
Yeah. John Knight in the chat says, "Guess there's no Angela." Yep, it looks like things have taken. She didn't think she was going to be here tonight. In all honesty, that's why I said, it's not. We're not
Watch her,
worried if she can make it or not.
watch her pop on for a whole minute.
I know, but Angela. This at this late, she's not even going to probably turn on her computer.
No, she's probably just gonna crawl in bed.
Yep. But we were able to get through the show with bouncing all over the place with topics tonight, having a lot of fun doing this. Once again, we want to thank our sponsors, Home Circle Media, and of course, Triple S Lawn Care. I know I've been bad about plugging them from time to time, so I wanted to make sure that I threw that out there. But I know Triple S Lawn Care, they're pretty booked up for the year.
Yep. I will do projects. I'm not really taking on any more maintenance clients for the simple fact of
You don't have the time.
exactly.
Until you leave the main job, and then your clientele can open up.
Once I leave there, I'll have a lot more time. But it's gonna take a minute to get that time because I'm gonna have to adjust my sleep schedule. Because the part of the problem is on my days off when I should be able to get up and at 'em at like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm so dang tired from the rest of the days that week that I don't want to get up and get going till 11, 12 o'clock.
Yeah. There's a client there.
No, that was my friend Brady. He sent me some stuff about High School DxD. I don't know if it's new figures or cutouts or an event going on or something. So,
But we are just about out of time. I want to once again thank everybody for tuning in tonight. We had a lot of fun bouncing all over the place. Thank you to everybody who hung out in the chat, including Ross, Luck, John Knight, Plutia, Kiyoshi Game Playing Idiots.
so Doug, so since we're bouncing all over the place, does that make us pinball wizards?
There has to be a twist. Pinball wizards have such a subtle risk.
I know.
Either that or we're like champions of tennis, you know. But I hope everybody has a wonderful night. I know it's a little bit earlier than we normally do, but I am tired. I know Darren has some energy now, so he may start watching some shows. But I should be around for the show next Sunday if I stay on the normal schedule that I'm scheduled to have this week. So until then, I hope everybody has a wonderful night. Stay safe this week. Keep enjoying the shows, and we'll see you again here for more Anime-Zing Radio on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Have a great night, everyone.
Nighty night.